Hare Krishna. We will start our narration of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are into how Prahlad Maharaj's character is being brought out by his reciprocation with Narasimha, how he is an best amongst exalted devotees is being described in this chapter. We'll start with Mangalacharanam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vagishayasya Vadane Lakshmiryasya Cha Vakshasi यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित् तं नृसिंहमहं भजे एकेन चक्रमपरेण करेण शङ्खम् अन्येन सिन्धुतनयामवलम्ब्य तिष्ठन् वामेतरेण वरदाभयपद्मचिह्नम् लक्ष्मी नृसिंहमम देहि करावलम्बम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् प्रह्लाद नारद पराशर पुण्डरीक व्यासादि भागवत पुंगव हृन्निवास भक्तानुरक्त परिपालन पारिजात लक्ष्मी नृसिंह मम देहि करावलम्बम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसूप्तं सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्. So we are describing the appearance of Narasimhadeva's section, and we are into how Prahlad Maharaj has been coronated after Narasimhadeva killed his father. Quickly going in the breakdown of the chapter. So the first section describes about how Prahlad Maharaj refuses to ask any benedictions from Lord Narasimhadeva, and 11 to 17 describes the Lord's reply to Prahlada and how Prahlad asks for a benediction, and the next section describes about 1824. Lord informs Hiranyakashipu about Hiranyakashipu's deliverance, and he glorifies the devotees. And then the next section describes about Lord Brahma's prayers to the Lord and the Lord's reply. 35 to 45 describes Narada Muni explaining about the three births of Jay and Vijay, and then it will be followed by Falashruti and the glorification of the Pandavas, to whom Narada Rishi is describing this pastime, and finally it ends with Narada Muni describing about the pastime of Lord Shiva destroying the three cities when induced by Yudhishthira Maharaj, about how the demigods have been conquered by Mayadana. So we will try to cover as much as possible today. We will start with the second section, that is Lord's reply to Prahlad Maharaj. Yesterday we have seen how Lord has asked Prahlad Maharaj, induced Prahlad Maharaj to ask a benediction being placed with him. But Prahlad Maharaj replied that I am not a merchant. I am not going to do business with you. Let our relationship be only of a master and a servant, because uh, uh, that's the only proper situation for both of them. And then uh, if I if any of them desire any profit from each other, then that's proving to be only a business. And then he asked, if you really want to benedict me, let there be no lust in my heart. And because of the lust, all the good qualities of a person are vanquished. So one gives up material desires, he becomes eligible to be wealthy like you, or you are asking me to ask a benediction. Actually, I will become wealthy only when actually I take out the lust from my heart and I engage in your devotional service. But then after a while, Prahlad Maharaj feels defeated uh, that the Lord is more forceful in offering a benediction. So he starts glorifying the Lord in his pastime in the feature of in the form of lion man, and that's where we are. We are heading into the next section now. Lord Nrsimhadeva speaks to Prahlad Maharaj and uh, offers a benediction. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Naikanti me mai jatva ihasi sa Naikanti me mai jat vihasi sa Asha sate mutrache bhavad Ye bhavad vidhaha Tathapi manvantarame tadatra Daityeswaranam Anubhungshva bhogan. He said in the previous chapter, whoever approaches me, they should not feel a necessity for anything else in this world. So Lord here is telling Prahlada, although you don't want any benediction, I am ordering you to enjoy. My dear Prahlada, a devotee like you never desires any kind of material opulences, either in this life or in the next. Nonetheless, I order to enjoy. I ordered to you to enjoy. Become the head of the demons, Daityeswaranam, and Anubhungshva. Enjoy. Anubhungshva Bhogan. Enjoy the opulences of the demons and acting as their king. Till when? Manvantaram. Tathapi, although you don't desire, you enjoy the being the king of the demons till the Manvantara, till the end of this current Manu. That is a very long time. So, it is said that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Lord gives what we lack and he preserves what we have. So it is not that when approaching the Supreme Lord, he will be bereft of any material enjoyment. So to actually nullify such a misconception, the Lord also, although he is the real treasure, which is considered to be most beneficial for the Lord and the devotee, although they mutually feel that actually devotional service is the essence, nonetheless, to create a impression of to attract the common people who may otherwise think that coming to Vishnu, and they may be not getting the material opulence. To deride such a conception, the Lord also gives material opulences to the devotees. This happened in the example of Dhruva Maharaja. We said that actually I am looking for broken pieces of glass in terms of lordship over this whole in this material world. I wanted a kingdom which is greater than my grandfather, great grandfather Lord Brahma, but this was all like broken pieces of glass compared to the jewel like your association, your audience. So, however, the Lord has made him the king of the Dhruvaloka, which is much greater than Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma, which will not be annihilated at the time of universal destruction. So the Lord gave that opulence to Dhruva. Similarly, Sudama has gone to the Supreme Lord to ask for something to run his house. But yet the Lord felt inadequate to give anything to Sudama, that he did not even mention that he wanted to give something, because he felt that how can I reciprocate with the feeling of this love towards my devotee? What kind of material opulence? If I give the whole creation also, it is insufficient for this love which this Sudama is showing to me. So, as reluctantly from behind, he has given so much of material opulence to Sudama. So Sudama also felt very much obliged. Actually, he did not feel happy for receiving material benedictions, but nonetheless, to show to the world that whoever comes to Krishna or Vishnu, they will not be held back from getting material opulences. The Lord also gives material opulence to the devotees. So herein Prahlad Maharaj is becoming the king of the demons and enjoying the material opulences in this world, while he was absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. Kathamadiya jushamanah priyastvam आवेश्य मामात्मनि सन्तमेकं सर्वेषु भूतेष्वधियज्ञमीशं यजस्व योगेन च कर्म हिन्वन्. Saying, it doesn't matter where you are, just become absorbed in me. Let your mind be fixed upon me. It doesn't matter where you are in this material world. You should always continuously hear the instructions and messages given by me. Katha Madiya Jushamanaha. So you engage in my katha always. Priyaha, you are very dear to me. Tom. Aveshyamam Atmani. You fix your mind upon me. You merge, or Aveshya. You fix your mind upon me, and because for I am the super soul existing in the hearts of everyone. Sarveshu bhuteshu adhiyajnam, and I am the Isha. Therefore, give up fruitive activities. Karma hinvan, give up fruitive activities, and yajasva yogena, by in devotional service you worship me. So, karma kanda entangles one in material desires. Jnana kanda will actually bind one to the desire for liberation. But Vaishnavas say karma kanda, jnana kanda, kevala vishera bhanda. So they are like parts of poison only. Why? Because they will deprive us of the nectar we receive from reciprocation and devotional service to the Lord. So, an act in the material world is a balance of karma, but yours will be clear. So, Lord is telling that to Prahlad that you feel that by acting in this material world, you will be bound by the chain of actions, reaction. but you will not be bound like that. That is my benediction to you. Similarly, a devotee always wants to be in the association of the Lord. He does not want to engage in materialistic life, but the Lord, to set an example to the world, he will induce his devotees to act in this world as much is necessary, so as to set an example for the others. So, in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was touring South India, in the Kurma Kshetra, there was a Brahmana who felt very much deeply convinced and inspired by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association, that he wants to give up his family and he wants to follow the Lord on his pilgrimage and then become his devotee. And as he wants to take sannyas. So but the Lord said, you don't have to give up your family life. Wherever you are, you just be in that position, and then worship me. What is that Brahmaji's prayer? Sthane sthita stutigatam tanuvang manovir. You be in your social situation. In whatever situation you are, you don't have to change the situation, your material situation. You have to change your mental situation. The mental situation is about enjoyment of this material world. You just change that state of mind to service of the Supreme Lord. Sthane sthitah stuti gatam. You engage in hearing and chanting about me and Lord Krishna. Stuti gatam tanu vang, with my body, vang, my words, manobhi, and my mind. Engage my body in the practical physical service of the Supreme Lord. Engage my words in speaking about the Supreme Lord, glorifying his pastimes, and manobhihi. Let my mind be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, in his holy name and his Leela. So in this way, even though I am staying in this material world, in the society, still I will remain aloof from this society. That is what Lord Narasimhadeva is talking to Prahlad Maharaj in this section. Bhogena punyam kushalena papam kalevaram kalajavena hitva kirtim visuddham suraloka gitam vitaya mameshyasi mukta bandha. Bhogena punyam kushalena papam. You exhaust your piety by enjoyment. And then kushalena papam. Maintain a proper attitude, act piously towards the sinful reactions which you are getting. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj has already exhausted his sinful reactions, but for the sake of instructing the general masses, the Lord is saying that kushalena papam, while you act piously and destroy the sin. Because of powerful time factor, kalevaram kala javena hitva, because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body, as anyone has to give up. But the difference is, kirtim visuddham suraloka kirtam. Your glories will be sung even by the demigods in the upper planetary systems. Being fully freed from all bondage, mukta bandha vitaya, you will return to my abode, being fully absorbed in thoughts of me after you give up your material body. But till then, you remain here. So the purpose of this is that the Lord actually wants a devotee to manage the universal affairs. So therefore, whenever there is a disruption in the universal system, the Lord brings in his own people and he sets them on the throne to make the masses actually happy. So the masses actually have to follow a leader. So if they follow a demoniac leader, then they will be induced to behave demonically. But when they follow a devotee leader, then actually the purpose of the creation is fulfilled. So the Lord actually puts his devotees. So Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Nradayanti Yuge Yuge. So the Lord takes his birth appearance in this world when the enemies of Indra take over. So why Indra? Indra is the universal administrator, the position. And he is the devotee of the Supreme Lord. That's the difference. When a devotee runs the government, he will run according to the Varnashrama system and installed by the Supreme Lord himself. So then there is a healthy conduct of different sections of the society among each other, and thereby they can focus on the real goal of life, that is Vishnu Aradhyate. They can actually worship the Supreme Lord and then go back to Godhead. So the Lord wants this. So that's why he puts a devotee on the throne so that the people can take example and then follow him. Ya etat kirtayen mahyam tvaya gitam idam naraha tvam chamam chasmaran kale karma bandhat pramuchyate. So just by remembering you, one gets freedom from material bonds. Not only the Lord, not only the remembering of the Lord, but remembering the devotees' pastimes also, one can go back to Godhead. So, one who remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered, they become free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. So, this is the expert management of material life. So, the devotee is not aggrieved in his awkward position in this material life, and he is not extraordinarily happy in the material opulence. So he is balanced. So therefore he is called a Jivan Mukta. Why? Because he is always engaging in the service and in remembering the Supreme Lord in all walks of life. Ihayasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira nikhila swapi avasthasu Jivan Mukta Savuchyate. Ihayasya harer dasya, one who is engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord 24 hours a day, nikhila swapi avasthasu, in all walks of life, in all situations, although he is living in this world, he is actually a liberated person. So now, compelled by the Lord, Prahlad is asking for a benediction now. Sri Prahlada Uvacha Varam Varaya Etatte Paradeshan Maheswara Yad Anindat Pita Me Tvam Yadin Anindat Pita Me Tvam Avidvam Steja Aiswaram. Saying, if you want to give some benediction, please deliver my father. Varam Varaya Etatte. If you want to give me any benediction, you are the Varadesha, you are the masters of benediction, and you are Maheshwara, you are the supreme controller. Yad Anindat, my father has actually blasphemed you in many ways. He is unintelligent, avidwan, teja aiswaram. So he does not know your prowess. He committed heavy sinful activities against you. So I wish that he be excused for these sins. It will continue. विद्धामर्शासयः साक्षात् सर्वलोकगुरुं प्रभुं भ्रातृ हेति वृषा दृष्टिस्त्वद्भक्ते मयि चाघवान् तस्मात् पिता मे पूयेत दुरन्ताद् दुस्तरादघात् भूतस्ते पांग samdrishtah tada kripana vatsala. Because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, I ask you only this benediction only. My father, I know that he, at the time of his death, he was so much in enmity with you, but because of constantly thinking upon you and looking at you, at your transcendental form, he has already been purified. I understand that, but because of ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you. There was no reason to be angry at you. But why he was angry? Because Bhratruheti. He was constantly thinking that you were the killer of his brother. You killed his brother. Thus, he directly blasphemed your lordship. You are Akhila Guru, Sarva Loka Guru, and Prabhu, and you are the spiritual master of all the living entities. But a guru should not be given a verbal fight, but he was always giving so much of insults to you. So please pardon him. So that is my desire. And not only that, he actually directed so many sinful activities towards me. So you may be thinking that it doesn't matter for me, he blasphemed me, but he actually was trying to kill you. So so please, I wish that he be delivered. That's what he is asking. Then Lord is speaking now. Sri Bhagavan Vacha त्रिसप्तभिः पिता पूतः पितृभिः सह तेन यत्साधोऽस्य कुले जातो भवान् वैकुलपावनः. Radha, you are asking about your father. Trisaptabhi pita putah. 21 forefathers of you have already been delivered along with your father. You are so sinless person. Because of your presence in your family, whoever takes birth in your family, even in the future, because of your presence, the entire Kula Pavanaha, the entire dynasty will be purified. So this is actually the, what do you call? Okay, I'm not getting the proper word. The Bali Maharaj is also who is coming in the line of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's son was Virochana, and Virochana's son was Bali. So even his grandson is delivered by the Lord's another incarnation in the form of Vamana Deva. So thereby keeping the benediction intact. Yatra yatra cha madbhaktaha prashanta samadarshinaha sadhavas samudacharaha te bhuyantepi kikataha. Yatra yatra cha madbhaktaha, whenever and wherever there are peaceful and equipoised devotees. Prashantaha samadarsaha and shantaha. They are decorated with, they are sadhavaha. They are decorated with so many good qualities. So te puyante api kikataha. So that places and the dynasties there, even if they are condemned, here kikataha, here the samudacharaha and kikataha, and dynasties like kikataha and who are condemned, even those dynasties are purified. So we actually headed into the next section where the Lord Nrsingadeva glorifies Prahlad Maharaj and he is ordering him to rule. So one may ask a question here that how is that? Is it that when the pure devotee is born in a family, even though the descendants be sinful, they will become liberated? So the Lord is assuring that they will get liberated. The benediction of the Lord is there, but it is up to us whether to take it or not. The flight ticket to go to Shimla is there to enjoy, but it is up to us whether you want to go or not. So the Lord is giving a ticket for Goloka Vrindavan, but it is up to us, our choice, whether we want to take it or not. So like that. Sarvatmana na himsanti bhutagrameshu kinchana ucchavacheshu daitendra madbhava vigata spruhaha. O king of the demons, my dear Prahlada, because of being attached to devotional service to me, my devotee does not distinguish between higher and lower beings in all respects. He is never jealous of anyone. So, whenever there is a love of Supreme Lord, one does not hate anyone. So, Arjuna does not want to kill his kinsman right at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. Although the poor Kauravas have made them suffer in many ways and tried to kill them in many ways, Arjuna was not ready to kill his own cousins, kinsmen. However, they actually carry everything as an act of duty. So people who are connected to the Supreme Lord are delivered. Therefore, so examples are Prahlad Maharaja, Parikshit Maharaja, Diti, Dhruva Maharaja, Suniti, Dhruva Maharaj's mother. So all and Kaliya because of his wives. So whoever are connected to the devotee, they are actually delivered. Bhavanti purusha loke madbhakta swamanuvrataha bhavan me khalu bhaktanam sarvesham pratirupadhruk. Saying everyone should follow your example. So this is my desire. Those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotees. That's the reason. So you are the best example of my devotees and others should follow in your footsteps. So therefore I order you to rule. Kurutvam preta krityani pitu putasya sarvasaha madanga sparshane nanga lokan yasyati suprajaha. Although your father is purified by my touch, nevertheless, you conduct his ritualistic ceremonies. Perform his Shraddha ceremony so that you will be able to deliver him to the higher planetary system where he may become a good citizen and a devotee. Lokan yasyati suprajaha. So you do that. So the Lord, when he comes to this world, although he is above the rule of this world, if you observe his conduct very closely, he never transgresses the rules. He generally he will not transgress any of the rules which he set forth in the form of Varna, Ashram, Dharma, or any other Vedic injunctions. He will never violate. So he is the maker of the rule, but he will never transgress the rule. He will keep, even not only himself, he will keep the rule of his own, subordinates intact. Brahma he is supposed to be the universal administrator. He offered a benediction. So he respected Brahma's position, and he appeared as Lord Nrsingadeva to kill to kill Nrsingadeva. So, what is that? Why am I slipping the words? So, as Lord came as Lord Nrsingadeva to protect Brahmaji's benediction and to kill Hiranyakashipu with all the terms and conditions given by Lord Brahma. So Brahma's position is a very superior position. It has to be respected. Indra's position is a very superior position. It has to be respected. It is said elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, Tejiyasam na doshaya, vahne sarva bhujada. You cannot deride big personalities like ordinary personalities. You cannot criticize a great personality when doing a mistake like an ordinary man. He cannot be treated like an ordinary man for punishment. Because Vahne Sarvabhujayada, they are capable of actually counteracting their so-called misdeeds by the power of their devotional service. Like just as like fire, you offer anything to the fire, it will burn that to ashes. Whether it be ghee or any other material ingredient, it will just burn that to ashes. So they can purify themselves by the fire of their Krishna consciousness and also their piety. So don't treat the great people like ordinary people. And so the Lord is saying that your father is purified now. Pitriyam cha sthanam Pityam cha sthanam atishtha yathoktam brahmavadivihi mayyavesya manastata kuru karmani matparaha. After performing the ritualistic ceremonies, take charge of your father's kingdom. Pitrum cha sthanam atishtha, sit upon the throne. And then yathoktam brahmavadivihi, as directed by Brahmavadis, sit upon the throne and do not be disturbed by material activities. And how you will not be disturbed by materialist activities? Mayyavesya manastata, by fixing your mind, oh my dear one, oh tata. Tata in Sanskrit is a dear one. And fix your mind upon me without transgressing the injunction, Vedic injunctions. As a matter of formality, you rule this material world. Brahmavadivi, you follow those people who are actually Brahmavadis. That means they are fixed in transcendence. So now, okay. Srinarada uvacha prahradopi tatha chakre pituryat samparayikam yathaha bhagavan rajan abhishikto dvijativihi. So, as directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prahlad Maharaj performed the ritualistic ceremonies for his father. And here Narada is telling to Yudhishthira, O king, he was then enthroned in the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu as directed by the Brahmanas. Abhishikto, he was enthroned. Pattabhishek, as directed by the Dvijativi, by the Brahmanas. Then Lord Brahma begins to glorify the Supreme Lord. We are entering to the next section now. Prasada sumukham drishtva Brahma naraharim harim stutva vagbhi pavitrabhi praha devadivir vrataha. Devadivir vrataha. So he was surrounded by the other demigods, and he was bright faced because the Lord was pleased. So this is the happiness of a devotee. When they see that the Lord is purified, the devotees also become happy. Thus he offered prayers to the Lord with transcendental word. Prasada sumukham drishtva Brahma Naraharim Harim Stutva Vakbih Pavitradhi. By seeing the prasada of the Supreme Lord, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord in a favorable way, the Lord Brahma became very pleased. He offered prayers. Sri Brahma Ovacha Devadeva Jaksha Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Dishyate Nihatah Papo Loka Santapano Suraha. Lord Brahma said, O Supreme Lord of all the world, O Supreme Lord of all the Lords, Deva Deva, proprietor of the universe, Akhila Adyaksha, O benedictor of all living entities, Bhuta Bhavana, O original person, Adi Purusha or Purvaja, and because of your good fortune, because of our good fortune, Dishtya, you have now killed this sinful demon, Nihatah Papaha. Why? Because he was giving trouble to the universe. Loka Santapana. He was actually troubling the entire universe. This Asura. Yoso labdhavaro matto navadhyo mama srishtibhihi tapo yoga balo nadhaha samasta nigamanahan. So he was transgressing all the rules by the strength of the benedictions he got, and by the strength of the austerities and the mystic yoga he practiced. So he was so puffed up, and he was transgressing all the rules. So he became extremely proud, excessively proud, and he transgressed all the Vedic injunctions. Dishtya tattanaya sadha Mahabhagavatorthakah Daya Vimochito Mrityor Dishtya Tvam Samito Dhuna. Now he has been released from Prahlad. He was disturbing his own son. Dishtya tat tanayo sadhu. By great fortune, you killed this person who who has killed this person who was troubling his own son, who is a very sadhu, a very pious person with all good qualities, and also Mahabhagavata. Although he is a little arphaka, although he is a small child, he is an exalted devotee of the Supreme Lord, and he was troubling this devotee of yours, and he wants to kill him. Tvaya vimochito mrityor. You have released this Prahlad Maharaj from death. So Hiranyakashipu's son Prahlad Maharaj has been now released from death. So now he is fully under the protection of your lotus feet. Tvam Samito Adhuna. He is fully under your protection now. Etadvapuste Bhagavan Dhyayata Paramatmanah Sarvato Goptru Santrasan Vrityorapi Jigham Sataha. O Supreme Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, you are the Supreme Soul, Paramatmanah. If one meditates upon your transcendental body, Dhyayatah Bhagavan Paramatmanah, on your transcendental body, you naturally protect him from all sources of fear. Sarvato Goptru. From what you will protect him? From Santrastan, from all sources of fear, even in the imminent danger of death. Mrityorapi Jigham Sataha. So you will, he will protect. So the Lord will protect the devotee in all walks of life. If we are devotees of the Supreme Lord, if we take shelter of him exclusively. Now, Lord Nrsimhadeva is speaking to Lord Brahma. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maivam Vibho Suranam Te Pradeya Padma Sambhava Parah Krura Nisarganam ahinam amrutam yatha. Giving benedictions to these sinful demons who are like snakes, krura nisargana, to this demoniac, this cruel natured people, giving benedictions to them is like ahinam amrutam yatha, feeding snake with nectar or milk. So it will only bite us back. So it is so dangerous. Uh, so be careful in next time when you are giving such benedictions. You have made me appear in this form which was never seen. Adrusyata atyadbhuta roopam udvahan. Stambhe sabhayam namrugam namanusham. Why? Satyam vidhatum nivritya bhashitam. You are my devotee, but yet you have uttered something which was very difficult to do. I had to exercise my, extraordinary prowess to kill this demon. So next time, please be careful in offering such benedictions and don't offer such benedictions to these demons again. Lord Brahma, he performed his duty in one sense, but Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityajya. So, you have to actually give a. Lord Brahma is performing his duty of benedicting whoever approaches him, but Krishna is telling, "This is my order. Next time you don't give that like this." So then what happened? Narada Muni is continuing his narration. Ityukta Bhagavan Rajam will close in 3 minutes. Ityukta Bhagavan Rajam tatas chantartadhe harihi adrisya sarva bhutanam pujita parameshthina. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not visible to any ordinary man, an ordinary human being, he spoke. To whom? Parameshthina, to Lord Brahma. Pujita, he is being worshipped by the others. So it is said that, how come the Lord disappeared? First of all, he is not visible only. Because of the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, to protect Prahlad Maharaj, the Lord became visible. Now, Adrisya Sarva Bhutanam, he is otherwise not visible to ordinary living entities. He disappeared. So he is not going to be visible to ordinary living entities, and he actually gave his darshan as a special mercy upon his devotees, headed by Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Brahma, and other demigods. Now he is disappearing from that place. Tatas sampujya sirasa vavande parameshtinam bhavam prajapati devan prahrado bhagavat kalaha. Prahlad Maharaj then worshipped and offered prayers to all the demigods. Now we may say that why is Prahlad Maharaj as a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he is engaging in the worshipping the demigods. He already got benediction. He got the audience and he got the special mercy by Lord Narasimhadeva directly. Now, why is he engaging in worshipping the personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Prajapati, and for all the parts of the Lord? So this is very important. Bhagavat Kalaha, because they are parts of the Supreme Lord, they owe respect and worship by us. So we should understand the things in context. So when the Lord Krishna discourages worshipping demigods in the Bhagavad Gita, it is not in a derisive way, but to make us careful not to be deviated by the conception of fruitive mentality to get enjoyment of this world only. So it is better to worship, approach the Lord for everything, but it is not that we deride the demigods. They owe our respect. They have actually been given that such exalted positions by the merit of their past previous piety as well as their devotional service. And the Lord, whenever he comes as an avatara, he protects their position. We have to remember that Indrari Vyakulam Lokam. So the Lord takes his appearance to protect Indra and from his enemies. Whenever there is a problem for Brahma, the Lord himself appears. So that means the Lord very much conducts this universal affairs with the help of these great demigods. So we should offer our respects to them. But when we are devotees of the Supreme Lord, we need to worship the Supreme Lord, and it is better to approach the Supreme Lord for any benediction and not get deviated by worshipping the devatas. But we should not disrespect the demigods, we should always respect them. So Prahlad Maharaj is not asking even any benediction from the Supreme Lord himself. He is not worshipping the demigods for fruitive mentality. He is worshipping the demigods for actually understanding that they are the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord and they owe the respect. Tata kavyadibhi sadham munibhi kamalasanaha daityanam danavanam cha prahradam makarotpatim. Thereafter, along with Shukracharya, Kalivi, and other great saints, Lord Brahma, whose seat is the Padmasana, whose seat is the lotus flower, he made Prahlad Maharaj king of all the demons and the giants of the universe. Pratinandyakato devaha pragyuja paramasisaha sadhamani yayurajan brahmadaya pratipujitaha. O king, Yudhishthira, after all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma were properly worshipped by Prahlada, they offered their benedictions to Prahlada and they left for their abodes. So we will discuss this next section tomorrow. Tomorrow, Narada Muni is going to explain the three births of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu, who are originally Jay and Vijay. Okay.
Prabhuji, can you please show me verse number 22?
Okay. Yeah.
And 27, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do we have any questions? You can take now.
There is one question in the chat, Prabhu. Would you please throw some light upon Lord asking Prahlad Maharaj to sit on the throne and rule as a matter of formality?
Yes, we already explained that, right? So as a matter of formality or duty, yes, the devotee does not want to enjoy any of the material benediction or material position, but and also the Lord is also not encouraging the devotee to get deviated by material position or name, fame, and prestige. But to set an example for others as a service, the devotees are actually asked and ordered by the Supreme Lord to do that. And the devotees also do that in the similar mood as a matter of duty.
So, Prabhuji, we should carry out our material duty perfectly well.
Very much. That is the whole message of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna wanted to give up everything and go to the forest and become a sannyasi. Lord Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita to induce Arjuna to fight, because as a Kshatriya, it was his duty to fight and to establish law and order. And also there is a connection with one's own Swabhava. So Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He cannot sit quiet at one place like a Brahmana, meditate upon the Supreme Lord. He has to duty. His absorption is in his service, and he will get absorbed in executing his duty as a Kshatriya. So the Lord engages different devotees in their respective Swabhava to teach how a person, although acting in this world, can achieve him while executing his duties properly. Yes.
You can also refer to the verse I have just posted in the chat, Mataji. ब्रह्मण्यादाय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा करोति या लिप्यतेन स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्बसा. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. So this is how this principle works, that one performs his duty, but one does not get attached to the results of the duty. Without getting attached, without becoming overly obsessive, one has to just perform his duty without getting affected. You can refer to this verse also.
But when we are performing material duties, we are bound to get attached to it. Isn't it our human nature to
Yes,
get?
yes, we are bound. We definitely get attached because we are conditioned. So it takes practice. It takes practice actually. Abhyasa, vairagya. So one has to practice this detachment. Very, consciously practice this. Yes, yes, definitely. What you're saying is correct. But one must be patient and one must practice this detachment. That is the whole message of Bhagavad Gita.
So why does then Lord said that as a matter of formality you have to rule to Prahlad Maharaj? As in his case it was not required. He was so exalted and still he has to perform duty. Why was he telling?
Correct. Well, actually, Lord is instructing all of us. Prahlad Maharaj doesn't need that personal instruction, but that is for all of us. Even though Prahlad Maharaj may be a very great devotee, Lord is instructing him personally, and through him he is instructing us. If at all there is some material opulence, and if at all we have some post and position, one has to do that duty. One has to do it as a duty which is given to him by the Supreme Lord without getting attached. See, there is one example, a very small example. It's a very practical example. For example, say, I think I already mentioned this. Shyamsundar Prabhu, you want to say something, or I can go ahead?
Go ahead.
See, for example, if your friend is there and your friend has a laptop with her, and she comes and she gives the laptop to you, saying that you please keep this laptop carefully. You keep this laptop very carefully. I'll come and collect after 1 week. There are 3 things which you can do. The first thing is, you can become very negligent about that laptop and you can just throw it where, all the kids damage the laptop. And when the person comes back to collect the laptop is almost completely damaged. And the second thing is, you can become so attached to the laptop that when your friend comes to collect that laptop back, you may say, oh, please let me have this laptop. I like this laptop very much. So the third thing which you can do is, you can keep the laptop very carefully with you. And when your friend comes back, you just give her the laptop in the same way as she has given. So which of the 3 things is supposed to be done? First thing, second thing, or third thing?
The third one.
The third one, right? Because firstly, that laptop is not yours and someone has given it to you to keep it with you for some time. And what is the purpose of keeping it with you for some time? The purpose is that you must return back the laptop when the person asks it back. So therefore, this is the same instruction given to Prahlad Maharaj by Narsingadev, and in turn, this is an instruction for all of us. The instruction is that we may have some material opulence which is gifted to us by the Supreme Lord. So how to actually use that opulence or how to use that facility? One thing is, we can become very negligent. That is, that means we are abusing it. And the second thing is, we can become overly attached, that even when death comes, we are hanging on to it. We are not getting attached to the Supreme Lord and his devotional service, but we are actually getting attached to this material facility. So the third option is, or the third aspect is that you preserve that facility very nicely, make use of that facility in Lord's service, and when death comes or when the time comes when you have to give it up, you give it up in a very gracious way, saying that, oh my Lord, thank you so much. You have entrusted me with this facility or with this opulence for some time. And now the time has come when I have to give this up. So you please take it. I have done my duty properly, because ultimately who is the proprietor here? The proprietor is the Lord. So Prahlad was asked to act on the Lord's behalf here. He is supposed to act on behalf of the Lord, and not only Prahlad, all of us, in whatever capacity or to whatever extent we have material opulence or facility, we are supposed to act as the caretaker. We are not supposed to become attached to it. If you become attached to it, then that is not the correct way, right? So this is a small example which I wanted to say. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, Prabhuji, that is clear. I wanted to ask one more thing. If like we get some little material desires over a period of time or something, so do we lose all our devotional endeavors in that to that
No,
material
if you,
desire?
I mean, your question is, if you get some material desire over a
Yeah.
period of time, do you lose all your devotion?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, you're right.
Not necessarily, provided that material desire is fulfilled according to the rules and regulations prescribed in the scripture, under the guidance of a guru. For example, you may want to possess a car. Okay. Somehow, although you have taken to devotional service, you have been chanting, but somehow you want to possess a particular car. It is not wrong. Okay, you buy it, you use it in the Lord's service under the guidance of devotees. So that's okay, no problem. But one must understand that how much ever you try to satisfy these material desires, it is only going to increase. The desire is only going to increase. So therefore, better do it under guidance. Better do it according to the rules and regulations prescribed in the scriptures. And most importantly, stick to the process of chanting and hearing every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya is very, very important, because a series of verses are given in the first canto. Tada Rajas Shanvatam Svakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasyo Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloki Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava Kamalobhadayaschaye Chetayate Ranavrittam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogatah Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangha. So how this hearing actually gradually removes your material desires, it removes the propensity for material enjoyment, and how it gradually purifies you and takes you to the highest level of devotional service. So irrespective of what material desires you have, kindly continue the process of chanting and hearing. So then you will come to understand slowly that whatever material desire you have, it is actually worthless. Of course, sometimes we may have some desire, may be very, very strong. Better to fulfill it under, the guidance of devotees. That's okay. But one must not have hope in that fulfillment. You are getting me, no? It's okay. You have material desire and you want somehow it's very much disturbing you, and you want that material desire to be fulfilled. That's okay. You can get it. And if you are destined to enjoy that material desire, you better do it under the guidance of devotees and engages as much as, for example, you want a car, you want to somehow possess a particular brand of a car, then you can get it fulfilled. If it is destined for you, you can get that desire fulfilled under the guidance of devotees and use the car for Lord's service. But do not put faith, do not put hope that fulfilling this material desire, I am going to become happy. You may become, a little peaceful for some time, but one must not put faith that fulfillment of my material desire will make me happy. Do you get it?
Yeah,
Faith should not be put there. Faith should be put in devotional service. And most importantly, one must stick to the process of chanting and hearing every day. So when you hear every day, what happens is, it is like you keep on introspecting yourself. You keep introspecting yourself, and repeatedly hearing reminds you. This Shravanam is so very important, Shravanam Kirtanam, that it keeps on repeatedly reminding you where to focus. That's why we say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then slowly you can overcome the lower modes, because of which these desires are manifesting. And very naturally, you will go further and further you will further and further advance in devotional service. So
Yeah.
don't worry about material desires too much. If something is disturbing you, take
Mhm.
guidance of some devotees.
But if somebody else is inducing us with material desires, like you should do this, you should get this, you should,
Then you
then
should
what
use your,
should we?
yeah, you should use your intelligence and discrimination, Mataji. That is why hearing every day in association of devotees will sharpen one's intelligence. You will come to know about who is the Supreme Lord, what is your relationship with the Supreme Lord, what is your duty. All these things you'll be repeatedly reminded. So then there is no question of becoming influenced, right? In fact, you should influence them.
So should we just like neglect whatever they are saying?
You can just give a nod. Okay, okay, okay. If they're in a receptive position, you can probably express your views and understanding to them. But that again depends on your own faith. So therefore, stick to this process of chanting and hearing, irrespective of any material desires. Your devotional service will not be disturbed. Stick to the process of chanting and hearing every day. Then you will come to know that this material desire is worthless. Gradually, it will happen gradually. It will not happen in a day. One has to be patient, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, like I know, but you know, the people around us, they keep infusing us. No, you should possess this, you should do this. Then what should
Correct.
be our approach in that case to them? We know in our own mind, like we know, but what should be our approach to them? How should we deal with them?
We should know that they are having these desires because they are probably not fixed up in devotion. We should know that it is a disease, Mataji. Whoever may have it, it is actually a disease only, right? So what do you see? See, when you see a patient suffering from COVID very badly, or somebody who is admitted in the hospital, he will behave in a certain way, right? Then you must
Right.
understand that this person is diseased. What else can we expect from him?
Okay, okay,
Or,
Prabhuji.
yeah, when somebody is suffering from a certain disease, he will be behaving in a certain way, right? You
Right.
cannot expect normal behavior from him. So, most importantly, you should become very compassionate also. You should know that this material desire is wrong. You should know that that person is forcing you or influencing you only because he is suffering from the disease. And most importantly, you must develop a feeling of compassion for that person. And you must pray to the Lord. Let me express my compassion in a proper way. Please give me the strength so that I can express my compassion to this person in a proper way at the proper time, so that this person also understands, or at least this person doesn't come and disturb me. And you keep praying like this and stick to the process of chanting and hearing in association of devotees, and always act under guidance of devotees, irrespective of your material desires. Definitely Lord will show the way, because Lord is Paramatma in everyone's heart. He is
Right.
Paramatma even in the person's heart who is influencing you or trying to influence, right?
Right,
Even
right.
if he or she doesn't change, at least he will not come and disturb you. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Don't have the feeling of negativity. Understand that this is the problem. Don't become negative towards the person. Okay? Just
Okay.
understand that this person is, and even we are suffering from the disease to some extent. Is it not?
Right,
Yeah,
right. We
all of
are.
us are suffering from this disease from to some extent or the other. It's not that we are
Yeah.
all completely pure, but somehow
Right.
at least the process which we are following is perfect, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that must be one. Shamsundar Prabhu, you want to add something? Kranti Prabhu, Shamsundar Prabhu.
It's good. Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, I got it. Thank you.
I think we have some more questions.
Any
Shamsundar
other
Prabhu.
questions?
Wait.
Is there it in the chat?
It's in the chat. Anuradha Mataji is asking. Everyone has got Asakti. Asakti means attachment.
No, that is not question. She is answering the
Okay, okay.
one thing here.
Okay, okay.
The Hare Krishna Prabhuji mentioned the Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna consciousness to be very scientific process. Can you explain that? You want to answer, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. 1 minute. What is the question? It is in the chat.
Yes, yes. She was one Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada mentions Krishna conscious to be a very scientific process. Can you please explain that, Prabhu? Are you there, Mataji? In the call?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, it is very much a scientific process. Krishna consciousness. Scientific process means, you see, you just try to practice it. You try to practice it. You put faith in the process, try to practice it. You will understand.
Yes, Prabhuji, but I understood. But people who are like, who I'm practicing, and people see that and ask, how can you just believe it is just philosophy? What arguments or what can I say to them? Or there should be something that I can say it's really scientific. It is not just blind faith. It has some results. Like when we do some experiment, we get some results.
That is why there
So
is
it's
no need
something
to
like that.
blind faith. What I'm saying is you put some theoretical faith and you begin practicing, and then you will know for yourself. See, even in science, we are putting faith, right? Are we not putting faith in science?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to put faith in this also. In fact, this is the topmost science because this is the science of the soul.
Yes.
Yes. It's very much a scientific process because it is the science of the soul. Where has the soul come from? What is the nature of the soul? It is very scientific. One must read Srimad Bhagavatam to understand this. Who is the Supreme Lord? How has this creation come? One must just put faith, that's all. Just as we are putting faith in so many things, one must put faith in this also. When you put faith, and then you will understand for yourself. Anything you want to add, Shyam Sundar Prabhu? That's all I can recollect as of now. But if I get some more explanation to this, Mataji, I will just share it in the group, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Looks like there are no questions further. I think we can stop it for today.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,